using your Tableau desktop, you have the luxury of making the connections live or extract the data. Whereas in Tableau Public, you can only do a live connection, that is Tableau Public, right? So this is yet another difference. Now, let us try to observe and understand the interface. So what just happened? We tried to pull the data over here for the orders worksheet. And if you observe, the exact columns that we were having into the orders worksheet, that is a row ID, order date, the same columns we are getting over here. Row ID, order date, ship mode, so on and so forth. All the data has been copied over here. Now, and let us say that we don't have a requirement of ID over here. Obviously, this is not making any sense, row ID. We can further remove it by adding the filters and all these things. We can add or remove the things as well. We'll be discussing that at a later point of time. But is that the only thing we are observing over here? Not exactly. Tableau is also telling us that, dear user, the data that you have got from this worksheet is having 21 fields and 9,994 rows. Fields over here is referring to the columns. So it is telling us that this worksheet is having 21 columns and 994 rows in it. A preliminary kind of, exploration we are doing for the data over here. Is that it? Not exactly. We are also able to see the data types over here. Data types of the values that are stored in each and every column. Now here, if you see, the row ID is numeric in nature. Hence, it is showing this symbol. When we are talking about the order ID, it is varchar, right? So we are seeing this. Order date, ship date is your date of calendar kind of data. It is showing us the format. And the same thing you can see over here, right? Here you can see. So what are, your, what is the row ID? What is the type? Order ID, what is the type? Order date, what is the type? So on and so on. You can just search over here and you can just get the detail. Let us say I'm talking about customer name. Right? Customer name. See, customer name is being shown over here. Right? You can do a lot of things, a lot of analysis over here. Now, if you see the postal code, the postal code is obviously your, longitudinal or latitudinal data. So it is showing us in the form of map over here. The state, it is being shown in the form of map over here, right? So we are getting a lot of information over here. Now, once we have understood this, we can now do the analysis on the data. You have to just click on the worksheet. So this is the worksheet we are having. Like the way when you are opening an Excel file, you will be having various worksheets. See, various worksheets. In the same way, in the Tableau also, we are having various worksheets. The first one is blank, so first we will be going there. All the data that we have pulled from the orders worksheet is being displayed over here. Are you people able to see that quickly? Now here, if you observe, all the data that we have pulled, we were having 21 columns. Right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. We are having 21 columns over here. But if you look closely, there is a fine line differentiating these columns. So this data that we are having below this line are referred to as your measures. Above the line, what we are having are referred to as your, so in Tableau, we are having dimensions and measures. We will be using these lingos only, right? Because you are looking to make a career into Tableau, so you should be aware of these lingos. Clear? And coming up with a chart is quite easy in Tableau. For example, if you see in Tableau at the Show Me panel, we are having some charts that are already being given to us. But if you see, these charts have been blurred. Are you able to observe? These are blurred. But you know what? As soon as you choose your dimensions and measures, Tableau will automatically suggest you that, dear user, out of all the available charts, this is a chart that is best suitable for the visualization based on the dimensions and the measures that you have chosen. How can? See over here. Let us say I have a requirement where I want to see the profit subcategory wise, right? So here, if you see, we are having the columns and we are having the rows. So the requirement is, I want to see the profit, simple drag and drop, subcategory wise, or let us say category wise. Category wise, profit. See over here. Now, guys, if you observe, previously, all of the charts were blurred. But now suddenly we are seeing some of the charts where there is no blurriness. And if you observe closely, out of all the charts that are now opened up, there is one particular chart that is having a red border on it. So what just happened? I didn't create a chart over here. I just dragged and dropped some values in the dimension and measures, and the Tableau is automatically suggesting me that out of all the available charts, it is giving me the best chart based on the requirement I'm having over here. But it does not mean that I cannot come up with other charts. If I just click on this chart, see, this is how it is looking. If I click on this chart, see, this is how it is looking. If I click on this chart, which is a horizontal bar, see, this is how it is looking. Pie chart, how it is looking. Then we are having your stacked bars. This is how it is looking. We are having your tree maps. This is how it is looking. And see, this is your another bubble chart. If you just hover your cursor, it will give you the name also. This is your scatter plot. Remember, we were talking about a scatter plot. We were talking about box plot. See, a scatter plot, right? It is blurred. It will not work over here. We are having the circle views over here. But if you observe all the visualizations that we just saw, this is the best one. This is the best one, right? Sorry, this one is the best one. And here it is giving us the marks. It is giving us to choose automatically. Let us say I want bars over here. So I can choose bars. I can choose squares over here. I can choose, the shape or map won't work. Density, again, not making sense. The best one will be a bar chart. This is how it looks like. Here, I have a question for you people. Just by looking at this chart, what is the inference you are able to make? The requirement was we are trying to see the category wise profit. Now, what is the inference you are drawing over here? Give it a try. Right or wrong doesn't matter. So what we are trying to, find out from this visualization is that out of all the available categories, that is your furniture, office supplies, and technology. The technology is giving us the maximum profit, that is nearly $145,000. The least profit we are getting from the furniture category, that is nearly $170 or $80,000. But here again, we are making some assumptions. Like, you know what? It is fine. On the preliminary basis, we are making a very good inference that technology is making a huge profit. But how much profit? If I say that it is making $145,000, is that the exact number is it making? Or if I say, furniture is making the least profit, nearly $170 or $180,000, again, there is an ambiguity in the answer. Can't we display all this information over here? We can do that. We can do that. See, how? Very simple. All you have to do is, you have to come up to this label and you can just select show the mark labels. That is it. Now, if I go to the presentation mode, see over here, for furniture, I don't know why it is not showing. Maybe because of some data issue, but obviously we are getting it for office supplies and technology over here. And further, if you just hover your mouse, you can further see what is the profit we are getting over here. Now, this is just a simple example to make you comfortable with the interface. We'll be doing a lot of complex things, don't worry. But this is just to let you know how easy it is to work on Tableau. Have we done anything technical till now?
No.
The answer is no. There is no technical thing needed over here. Trust me, guys, right? Now, let us say we also need to see the subcategory wise profit. If I just drop it over here, see. We are also able to see the subcategory wise profit. Or if I just drop the profit over here, and if I take the category over here, see. See how it looks like. And now see the inference you are able to make over here. Try to analyze this. That is binders. Okay. So binders is basically a subcategory, friends. Now here you can change the view also. Like we are having a standard view. Let us say we are going to the entire view. This is how it looks like. And you can just click on the show me panel and it will be subsided. Now see. The inferences that we are making over here is, what is the requirement? Now the requirement is we are trying to observe the subcategory wise profit over here. That is the requirement we are having. So what are the various subcategories we are having? That is being mentioned on the columns. These are the various subcategories: accessories, appliances, art, binders, bookcases. Now, if you just come back to the Excel sheet and go to the category. So the categories we were having basically three categories: office supplies, furnitures, and technology. But based on this, we are also having further subcategories. For example, try to understand this. If you are trying to buy a cloth, right? Say you are trying to, buy a cloth. So cloth is a category. What are the various subcategories it is having? It is having formal wear. It is having casual wear. It is having, semi-formal. In the same way, for the various categories, what are the subcategories we are having is being mentioned over here. And we are trying to observe the subcategory wise profit. which subcategory is making the maximum profit or the minimum profit is what we are trying to understand over here. So if you look closely, what we observe is that out of all the available subcategories, your copiers is giving us the maximum profit. Whereas we are also observing the loss when it comes to the tables. See, minus. The minimum loss is we are getting for the supplies. The maximum loss we are getting for the tables. Making sense? So quite easy. Now try to relate the inferences that you just drew over here and try to relate with the Excel sheet. Will you be able to draw the same inferences when you are looking at the category and the profit column? You won't be able to. That is how the data visualization is helping us. That is how the data visualization is helping us. Right? See over here. And further, you can, you can do a number of formatting over here. For example, if I just choose the color, I can change the colors as well, right? So this is how it looks like. Borders also I can choose. Let me make the black border over here. I can also increase or decrease the size over here. Right? These are all the cosmetic changes that you get. We also have something called as your tooltip. We'll be discussing this at a later point of time. We also have something called as your details. Now, let us say in details. Okay. Now see what just happened over here. Now see what just happened over here. I just dragged and dropped my region onto the colors over here. And what is happening? The requirement is being changed over here. Now, not only we are seeing the subcategory wise profit, we are also seeing that which region is giving us what kind of profit. That is also what we are seeing over here. And through the legends, you can make out that which color is referring to what region. For example, over here, we can say that, you know what, out of all the profit that we are having, your west region is giving us the maximum contribution for the accessories subcategory. Tables is giving us the maximum loss, but out of all the regions that we are having, the east region is the region which is contributing to the maximum loss for the table subcategory. Making sense? So you can do n number of things, friends. It all depends upon what is your requirement or what information you want to display over here. Now, in doing all these things, you must have observed that a little bit of analytical thinking is also required over here. You have to implement a little bit of analytical. If you want to go back to the charts, we can just go back to the show me panel again and we will be having this chart. If I just click on the pie chart, see, this is how it is being shown. Size chart, see how it is being shown. As per the profit, it is showing us the size. Automatically, it is being. Right? Area. So there are n number of things that you can do over here. Now, what I would suggest you people is to just, once again, practice all these things. See, whatever we are learning over here, that is only practical. That is only practical. There is no theory in Power BI or Tableau. There is no theory. And I know, I'm assuming you people are aware of what a practical means. You have to practically practice all these things. Only then it will make sense.
Yeah.
Right?
True.
So you have to give it some time and efforts.
Sure.
Now, one more important thing that I just wanted to talk about over here for today. We talked about, when we were putting the data, like when you go to the data source over here, we know that this data source, worksheet that we pulled out is having 21 columns into it. But when we are coming to the worksheet over here, we are seeing that we are having more than 21 columns over here. For example, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Now, these are the only columns that is existing into the data set. The rest of the columns that you are seeing over here, that is auto-generated by Tableau for our ease of working. That is why this is called as your business intelligence tool. Based on the data that you have provided, that you have pulled into the Tableau, it is automatically generating some measures for you, right? So these are
Yes.
called as your measure values. These are called as your measure. We have dimensions, we have measures, we are having some measure values. Clear with this? Now, can we only import one data source over here? Well, not exactly. If you want to import another data source, let me say I want to choose a new data source. Again, I will get this option. I'm going to the Excel and let me choose another Excel file. Let me say I'm choosing the sales data relationship. I click on open. It will just show me that out of all the available, which one you want to choose. Let me choose that data over here, drag and drop. And then I will go to the worksheet. Now here, if you just see, previously we were having only one cylinder. Now we are having two cylinders over here, which is showing we are connected to two data sources. Out of the two data sources, which is the data source that we are currently working upon? If you see, you will see a green labeling over here. This is showing that out of all the available data sources, this is the data source that which you are currently connected to. If I choose this, right? If I choose this, it is having 9 fields and 136 rows. Okay, it is having some ambiguity in it. I will just work on this. This is not the clear data that we are having. Okay, now see. Once I have clicked on this data source, now all the columns that is existing into this data source is being shown over here. And the previous columns that were there into this orders sheet has been gone. Are you people observing what I'm trying to say over here?
Yes. Yes.
Now, let us say I have a requirement where, okay, this data is actually different, but let me try. Item name I'm putting into the columns. And let us say item quantity I'm putting over here. Yeah. Now, if you observe, the data source has been changed over here. See the green icon? Now it has come to this new data source over here. Previously, it was being shown over here. So now by seeing this, we can tell that currently we are using this data source instead of this data source. Making sense, guys, everyone?
Yes. Yes.
Right? So these are some preliminary things that you should be aware of, and accordingly, we can do a lot of things. Now, let me come back to the PPT. So we were talking about the Tableau interface. And this is how it looks like, right? So this particular pane that you see is referred to as the menu bar, where we are having all the menus. You can just open it on your system and you can relate. Here we are having all the tools, if you observe. So this is called as your toolbar icon. This is your dimension shelf. This is your measure shelf. And here we are having sets and parameters. This is your marks card. And this is the worksheet. Whatever we are doing is being displayed over here. This is your pages shelf. This is how your interface looks like. We have already seen that. Now, we are initially having 10 ribbons or 10 different tabs on the Tableau default ribbon. One is your file, data, worksheet, dashboard, story, analysis, map, format, window, and help. If you just open your Tableau, you can see all these tabs are there on your Tableau. Now, when we are talking about the toolbar, when we are talking about the toolbar icon, this one, there is a row of buttons that will be useful for when conducting your data analysis. Like it is showing us the show, start page, undo and redo, new data source, new worksheet, clear sheet. All these are the various tabs that we are having. Just open your Tableau and observe everyone. Do that. Are you able to see in the toolbar icon? See, this pane that you see where you have your file, data, worksheet, dashboard. This is called as your menu bar. This is your menu bar, right? And this tab that you see where you are having all these icons, toolbar, right? This is the dimensions pane we are having. These are the measures pane that we are having. The same thing I told you, right?